Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game2Game, your team every day.
Welcome in, everyone, to Game2Game SEC Edition. I'm Jordan Black. Another week, another great slate of matchups to break down for you. It is week 7 of the college football season, and the SEC took 6 ranked teams into action on Saturday, and not everyone came out unscathed. Between an instant classic between Alabama and Tennessee, a highly anticipated matchup in Lexington, and an absolute blowout by the Georgia Bulldogs, we have got a lot to talk about. So sit back and relax, and let's start off with the game of the week. That's got Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide traveling to Tennessee to take on those Volunteers, a team the Tide haven't lost to since 2006. That's before Nick Saban even took the helm in T-Town. Alabama just coming off a close game against A&M last week. Alabama still undefeated and ranked first in the SEC West now. Saturday, a classic in Knoxville. The only way to describe it. Bryce Young's play, stellar, throwing for 455 yards, 2 TDs, while Jahmyr Gibbs added 103 rushing yards. But with 15 seconds left, Bama missed the go-ahead field goal, and Tennessee's quarterback Hendon Hooker completed 2 passes to set up the game-winning kick for the Vols. Rush the field on Rocky Top. Tennessee wins it. Locked On Vols host Eric Kane gives us a glimpse at the mayhem after this historic win in Knoxville. Now, number 9, Ole Miss welcomed Auburn on Saturday and ran wild over the Tigers. Rebel QB Jackson Dart was one of 300-yard rushers on the day. For the first time now since 1976, Ole Miss had 3 100-yard rushers. Auburn showed signs of life in the second and third quarters, but this one belonged to the home team 48-34 as Ole Miss now remains the lone unbeaten in the SEC West. Locked On Ole Miss, Stephen Willis gives us his take on the win.
All right, Ole Miss ran for 448 yards against an upstart Auburn Tigers team en route to a 48-34 win. Hi, I'm Stephen Willis with the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Ole Miss used the ground to take down the Auburn Tigers and was led by Quinshon Judkins with 139 and 2 touchdowns. Zach Evans pitched in 136 and a touchdown. Jackson Dart even got in on the action with 115 on the ground as well. He did throw for 3 touchdowns and 130 yards. Ole Miss did have some issues defensively, and Auburn was able to cross the 300-yard plateau in the game themselves. The focus now turns to a huge game in Tiger Stadium with the LSU Tigers, an LSU team that historically loves to play an elite Ole Miss team. Hey, at least it's a CBS game. For more information, check out the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, your team every day.
Support us by supporting our sponsors. Built Bar is a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. Sounds good, right? You can go to BuiltBar.com and use promo code LOCKEDON15 and you'll get 15% off your next order. LSU versus Florida, a matchup that always entertains. LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels accounted for 6 touchdowns, 3 passing and 3 rushing, finishing the day with 349 yards. Tigers take this one in the swamp and earn their 4th consecutive win in the series. Locked On LSU host Caroline Fenton breaks it down for us.
Okay, so that is the Jaden Daniels that all of us LSU fans have been looking for all season long. I'm Caroline Fenton, and I'm the host of Locked On LSU, and LSU just extended their record in the SEC to 3-1, getting it done 45-35 against the Florida Gators in Gainesville. A huge road win coming off of a kind of an embarrassing loss. It was an embarrassing loss against the Tennessee Volunteers last week, but Jaden Daniels is the story tonight. 350 passing yards, 6 total touchdowns on the night, and then the Tigers scored a field goal to seal the win at the very end of the game. And of course, there were still some special teams woes. A muffed punt, giving up big time yards on a punt return, silly penalties. The defense kind of looked like it took a little bit of a step back. It struggled trying to stop this Florida rush attack. Of course, I'm looking at an 80-plus yard touchdown run from Anthony Richardson to start the fourth quarter. So LSU still has things to work on. But the good thing is, this offense is evolving, the passing game is evolving, and Jaden Daniels looked more confident tonight and looked more decisive tonight than he's looked all season long. So I think LSU fans have a lot to look forward to with Jaden Daniels and his LSU offense.
Florida's quarterback Anthony Richardson did rush for 109 yards and a TD, but rally efforts fell short on the Gators side. Locked On Gators host Brandon Olson takes us through the loss from Gainesville.
I'm sad. Florida Gators fell to the LSU Tigers in what was, it started off as a fantastic football game, 21-21, and then LSU kept it going and Florida didn't, which is kind of the story of Florida not really playing 4 full quarters of football that are clean and consistent, and that's just been the story for Florida this year. Coaching, I'm so torn between saying the coaches are doing the right thing or the coaches are doing the wrong thing, because I know that the talent isn't there in Gainesville right now. So that's where I'm really torn. But we'll watch the game, unfortunately, a couple more times. We'll talk about it on Monday, Locked On Gators, and throughout the rest of the week. I'm Brandon Olson. Hopefully your night goes better than it's been so far.
Another wild week in the SEC with major shakeups in the top 25 on their way. Make that shakeups in just the top 5 rankings even. With every win and loss, the Locked On Network's local experts will be here to break it down each and every week for you. I'm Jordan Black, and we'll see you next time right here on Game2Game SEC.